Do not click away from this video. No, it is not clickbait. The title is not clickbait. Our goal, especially around the climate of consignment, is to have a serious and honest, open, transparent conversation about our thoughts, our revised thoughts. I think that we've evolved a little bit in our understanding of consignment. We're now wanting to implement some new strategies. I think that's the beauty of capitalism, is that when there is a gap or a hole or an issue within a market, other companies have to step up and say, all right, if this is a problem with the consumer, then we're going to have to fix it, and we're going to have to find a way to fix it. We tried doing that a little bit already, and we're continuing to do that. So let's just talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably important to start off just by reiterating why consignment is a great business model for different businesses, because a lot of the feedback we get from people, because of the climate that exists right now in the gray market, with how people are saying new consignment is a total scam, like it is just, it's the most risky way in which you can sell your watch. I think it begs the question, like, why do we still include that operation within our business? Because so many people have just been like, just buy the watch, don't even offer consignment, just buy the watch, you know?
Right. When you offer consignment, and again, this isn't supposed to be a super duper pro consignment video. That's not what that's not what this is. This is actually a video stating that we are actually not as pro consignment as some of you probably think. We do prefer to buy the watch. With that said, if we don't purchase the watch, you do maximize your take home if you consign with us instead. Now, there are legitimate concerns and arguments that I've heard going against the consignment process that are very fair and super warranted.
Right.
So, for example, number one is it's very little risk for the definitionally consignee. We are the consignee, and you, if you consign with us, would be the consignor. As the consignee, the one receiving the consignment, there is actually little risk. That's true.
The dealer's not taking on any risk, but they're benefiting from the fact of having a watch in their inventory.
And that is definitely problematic. And I think number two is that they are boasting an inventory that isn't theirs, or isn't ours if we're overly leveraged on consignment alone.
The model of consignment is great for both people involved, more so for the consignee versus the consignor. But the whole reason why that isn't offered in the first place is because there are certain watches that we don't want to tie up a lot of money into. Mm-hmm. So let's say a client comes to us and he has a $200,000 watch. Am I willing to tie this money into this watch? Because I could take that same money and I could probably buy 4 other watches and sell them at a quicker rate and multiply my profits than putting it into one. And at that point, it's just a numbers game. Am I going to make enough money on this $200,000 watch to offset the opportunity that I'm passing up on by, tying up funds in that watch? So that's the whole consignment thing, because some watches move faster than others. And so there's certain pieces that are just, they appeal to a very niche group of collectors and enthusiasts. And those are the types of watches you don't typically want to just buy, because you might hold on to it for a really long time.
Yeah, so
money sitting in a watch or money on a shelf is not making money.
Which we will make offers on those pieces. We just have to take into account the opportunity costs.
How long might I have that watch for?
Right. And so you as the consignor, you've already purchased the watch. You already have money tied into it. And if you've had the watch for 5 years or 2 years or whatever, are you willing to wait another 3 months? Probably. Now, for us, are we willing to tie up money and wait 3 months? Absolutely, we will. We're just not going to offer as strong on the watch, naturally. And that's not a selfish thing. It's not a greedy thing. I mean, that's just a business thing.
Right.
And so that's why we think, especially on more niche pieces, look, if you're willing to wait, we have the clients, like we have the outreach 100%, but you can maximize your take home and make an extra $10,000, $20,000. And so
yeah, it's dependent on how motivated is the seller. Are they wanting to move it quickly? Is it like, dude, let's expedite this whole transaction and move it quickly? Or they may be like, hey, let's sell it, but I'm in no rush. I'll be happy to wait for, more money to come later on. Several factors that play into.
I think this is coming across as a very pro consignment video. which is not the goal.
No, so
The goal is we recognize that we 100% recognize that there is issues with consignment. Absolutely.
we've experienced it. Yeah.
We've experienced it. We have
Witnessed it.
I know without a shadow of doubt that there are companies doing the same thing right now that what Anthony did, taking money from Peter to pay Paul. Basically meaning they are using money that is owed to other people and taking money and paying those people off, and then you have this snowball effect that eventually catches up to you. And then people, you may not get the short end of the stick, but someone eventually will. And once that house of cards collapses, you're going to get a good amount of people that, for lack of a better word or phrase, gets screwed over. And
That's what happened with Anthony. With time.
that's what happened with Anthony. And I know without a shadow of doubt, I'll just say this: I know without a shadow of doubt, there are companies out there that are doing it right now. What we have done to implement, and we tried being extremely pro consignment with our company, saying, look, we will provide bank statements. When a watch sells, we will pay you out within 3 days, business days. We will show bank statements, meaning we'll show what the watch sold for.
Yeah, incoming wire, outgoing wire.
Yeah, and if it's a part of a trade, we will show you the breakdown of the trade process, and we do not wait until whatever watch got traded in. We basically operate it as two separate transactions, so you don't have to wait. We basically operate that if someone were to do a straight trade, one watch in, one watch out, we then pay you in full, even if that watch hadn't sold yet.
And we've been incredibly grateful for the customers and the clients that have come and worked with us, over the last several months, who have not only sold us their watches outright, but who have signed pieces with us that has allowed us to go and market them, the pieces for them, get them the most money for their watch.
We have such a wide outreach, and we have such a massive client base that if someone wants to sell a watch with us, we have the means and abilities of doing that. And it seems like a waste to not be able to partner with people, because that's what I always said to potential consigners. I would always use the word partner, because that's the way that we always viewed it. Like you and us, we are partnering together to move your watch. You have the watch. We're going to use our resources, and we're going to try and move the watch for you in the safest way, not just for you, but also the safest way for the consumer, the end user. And so we actually have a hybrid consignment process that we're going to talk about now. But I actually want to take a little bit of time, talk about some watches that we sold, talk about some watches that we just got in, and stuff that we have for sale.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure you guys are interested in that. So
I grabbed a couple pieces out of the
I don't know what is what. Okay, so we have a 1267 13 GR NR. This is Jubilee bracelet. This is the two-tone with the gray, two-tone bracelet with the black and gray bezel. And this one was a 2023 brand new. I will be honest with you, I don't usually like two-tone, and I don't usually like two-tone with yellow gold almost ever. This watch has definitely grown on me. Those of you who watch the channel know I don't just say that about every watch. I'll give my honest opinion on my personal honest opinion, which I don't think holds that much weight. I mean, people buy these regardless. Even if I said this looked like crap to me.
Yeah, we've had a couple clients that have come in since we received that just in a few days, like the last 2 days, and they're like, I have not seen one of these in person.
Yeah,
and because it was a new release just in 2023, so it looks really good. Like,
so
it looks good on camera, but it looks even better in person. That two-tone Jubilee on this one.
I think what I like the most. So the all gold is probably a lot cooler. It was a little lackluster the first time I saw it, but I don't know if this is true. I feel like they changed the gray a little bit. I think they made it a little bit more stark. Again, I could be totally wrong on that. When Rolex changes stuff, they don't tell you. So
the lighting here,
it could be the lighting, but it actually looks really nice. And that black and gray is a lot more stark and obvious. So this watch has definitely grown on me. So we have this one for sale for $20,000. I think that's a great price. I mean, for brand new, fresh, it looks amazing. So if you guys are interested in this piece, $20,000 is what we have this one listed for, and reach out. We'll see if we have it.
Right here, have a 126613 LB. This is a 2022. That's the Rolex Submariner Bluesy. So another two-tone option. This is on the Oyster bracelet, not the Jubilee bracelet. I never get tired of looking at that blue though. It's always a beautiful, beautiful watch. If you see one of these out in the wild, there's no mistaking, it for a Rolex sub. When you see it on somebody's wrist, you can just tell from a very, very far away. So it's a beautiful watch. This one is available for $17,500. It's a complete set.
Unfortunately, I've said this before. When it comes to the two-tones, I'm not the biggest fan of the bluesy. I think it's a beautiful watch. I think it's just for me personally.
I think two-tone gets too much hate, man.
No, because so like the two-tone.
I'm literally wearing a two-tone Sky Dollar right now.
Oh, let's talk about that one. So we just got this one in as well. Obviously, this one's not consigned. This one we had purchased. This bluesy we have as consigned. This one we've purchased. The two-tone Sky is actually pretty cool.
The black just looks really good with the two-tone. It's a good-looking watch, man.
Yeah, I'm very fond of Sky Dwellers. It was the first Rolex that I fell in love with and really, really enjoyed.
The fluted bezel being gold, like it's a good looking.
I think that's what it is for me. I think it's the gold fluted bezel that really just it bumps up to where it's like, yes, that's a watch that I like, and that's a watch that I would buy.
Yeah. Two-tone always gives you a little more dressy of an aesthetic, you think?
I think two-tone you can dress up and down. Personally, if you have a Submariner, I don't think you can wear a suit with that. I don't think you should. I think it's a tool watch.
I think you're pissing off a whole lot of people right now.
Whatever, man. This is just my opinion. I think when you go two-tone, so like if you wear a suit daily or sometimes you wear a t-shirt, you can definitely wear date justs. You can definitely wear two-tone date justs. Personally, I'd go with a two-tone.
But a sub you think is just a little too casual?
It's a tool watch. Yeah, I think it's too casual. I don't think you should.
Okay.
I don't think you. When I see someone wearing a suit, wearing a sub.
This reminds me of the video that we shot. That was basically like the Submariner versus the date just. Like which watch should be the first?
Yeah.
Rolex. If you're purchasing a Rolex, which one should be the first one you buy? You can watch that video on our channel.
We have this beautiful brand new 2022 116500LN. With the black dial.
Yeah.
We're selling this one, I believe, for $27,500, if I'm not mistaken. The last one that we got in the last couple days would be this Sky Dweller right here. Talk a little bit about that.
This Sky Dweller we got in is a 326238. So that is Sky Dweller with yellow gold.
2022.
2022 black dial. Now, here's a question for you, because Josh said earlier that he doesn't think you can wear a Submariner with a suit. Now, this is on Oysterflex, so it's a little more of a sporty fit. Do you think this watch can be worn with a suit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Let's talk about the Oysterflex. The Oysterflex is the ultimate flex. The question is why? It's not precious metal. That doesn't make any sense. It's rubber, really, Technically, they don't like to call it a rubber band. Rolex calls it a bracelet. It's metal infused, and
they'd even call it a rubber strap. It is not
a rubber strap. They call it a bracelet.
Bracelet.
Undoubtedly, you'd imagine it might be top heavy. It's not. Rolex has these fins inside that make it to where that top heaviness just really isn't a thing.
Yep.
It's very, very well balanced. That's what you would expect with a watch of this caliber. We are selling this for $34,000. The thing about the Oysterflex, I've had a few clients, quite a few clients, they've said, hey, I have this Oysterflex on Daytona and I'd like to get a bracelet for it. It's not going to fit. When Rolex makes these Oysterflex, they actually make the lug size a little bit different. And they do that intentionally so that you can't just swap and switch out. When you have an Oysterflex, what that says to everyone else is that even though that this wasn't a full precious metal watch,
I bought it like that.
You bought it like that. And you didn't buy it so you could swap it. No one in their right mind is going to take a full bracelet and put a rubber B on it or a rubber bracelet that looks like an Oysterflex. The Oysterflex is the ultimate flex, I think. And I'm coining that term, actually. The Oysterflex is the ultimate flex.
We're gonna make t-shirts.
You're willing to pay the price to have a precious metal watch without the precious metal bracelet, but you're still paying so much money for that watch.
Yeah.
And you can't swap it. It is what it is. Yeah, I think you can absolutely wear it with a suit.
I also aesthetically love the contrast of the yellow gold against the black, rubber bracelet.
It is a cool contrast.
It looks good. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah. So anyways, these are the watches that we got in the last few days. And so, our MO has been, we get stuff in and we get it out fast. You know, some of the stuff we're not showing here, we just sold a Sprite. We just sold a Tiffany Blue OP today. You know, there's stuff that we're selling that we're not even showing.
We sold another GRNR.
Another GRNR that we actually sold. That's right. Should be bringing in a bad girl. So, you know, there's stuff that we're moving and not even showing it or mentioning it because we've been moving stuff so quickly. We've really been optimizing the way that we've been moving stuff, and I'm really proud to say that. So
if you're interested in any of those pieces, just let us know. We're more than happy to connect you with your next timepiece, get it on your wrist, sell it to you, do business with you. You can call us at 469-747-2442. You can send us an email. You can go on our website.
that goes right to this phone.
It goes right here. We'll get in touch with you promptly. We do want to talk about this new consignment model that we've been brewing up, creating a system that we think we're about to radically change and stir the pot within the gray market.
We're hoping that it changes things.
Yeah, because I think
this is going to stir.
Our desire is to raise the bar, and our industry at large. There's been a shadow that's been cast over consignment. Don't like that. We want to change that. We want to raise the bar. We want the entire industry to operate with higher standards. And so we're going to be a part of not just following suit, but actually creating and hopefully implementing things that we see adopted amongst some other dealers.
With everything that we've seen and witnessed and experienced, we think that it's not only a good thing to change the industry, but it is a necessary thing.
Yeah,
necessary. Now, what we're not saying is that you shouldn't consign with us
in a traditional
the traditional way.
Right.
We're more than happy to do that. It's probably the most effective way of consigning. But we are going to be presenting right now. We're going to be presenting some new options that I think would be hard to argue with if you are extremely anti-consignment. And by the way, all of the critics, everyone, that is, I mean, it's fair game. And I think that a lot of you have shed light, and us ourselves have shed light on the problems of consignment. And we've talked with a lot of people, brainstormed with a lot of people and amongst ourselves of what can we do to lead the way so that people can understand that there's still a lot of positivity and positive outcomes to partnering with us.
Yeah, the only reason
there's outright selling.
That's not the only reason that we, are implementing this new thing and have really put our heads together to come up with it. But we've had several inquiries of individuals that currently own very expensive timepieces, hundreds of thousands of dollars. When they reached out to us and inquired about, using our services to help sell their watch and broker it or put on consignment, a common question that comes up is there any way that we can do this, but I can maintain the watch in my possession?
Literally, we're calling it hybrid consigning.
Yeah.
If you want to hybrid consign.
So here, and let's break down basically the gist of it.
Well, why is it a hybrid?
Hybrid. So we're not buying your watch outright. We're still going to list your watch, and there's still going to be a fee.
Yeah, that's consignment part.
Right. But the biggest part of this, during this agreement, the watch is actually going to be maintained in your possession, the owner, and not in our possession, the consignee.
It's much easier if we ship the watch in and we have it in inventory. We can showcase it. We can take photos and all of that. But with the current climate of consignment, I think hybrid consigning is the necessary step. I don't think everyone's going to utilize it. I think a lot of people are still going to send their stuff in and have us hold the pieces for them.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit better for marketing efforts. It does make it easier to sell. Here are the concerns with hybrid consigning. When it comes to shipping, we have traditionally and in the past, we've always covered the shipping when we receive a consignment. Depending on the amount of the watch, it could be anywhere between $35 all the way up to $200 one way to fully insure everything. When it comes to the hybrid consigning, we are still going to receive the watch. We're going to ship it in. It's going to be at the cost of the consigner. And then we will ship it back promptly within 2 to 3 days. We'll have an agreement where you're not going to be wearing the watch. It is, in fact, going to maintain in the same condition as whenever we received it and inspected it and authenticated it and took all of the pictures and videos for our marketing efforts. But number 2 is an exclusivity agreement that you're not going to be doing this with other companies. And frankly, if you were doing this with other companies, I'm sure that they wouldn't want that either, and we don't want that either. We want the one-on-one rights to be selling this watch. Obviously, it's very problematic if we were to sell the watch and then all of a sudden you don't have it. Well, we prevent that by we receive upfront the consignment fee, we put that in a separate account, obviously, and we hold that as a deposit during the process.
That's the collateral that we have in the entire transaction. So that way, like Josh said, we hold that until the watch sells. When the watch sells, you then ship it to us. We broker that transaction.
We re-authenticate, just like we would regularly. We look at the condition, as long as everything is the same. That deposit eliminates the trust factor that we would have to have for the client. Obviously, if it's not in the same condition, within the contracts, we'll have agreements on what the monetary cost of what it would take to, what the monetary loss would be and what it would take to recover and get it back to more of its original state than what it was. I don't think we're going to have that problem though. I think most of the people that want to sell these watches, they want to sell them and they're willing to utilize their own self-control and probably not wear the pieces.
The period of time is the same as our traditional one. We might even be able to play around with some custom dates. So if someone's interested in consigning it for a shorter period of time than 60 days, but 60 days is our standard policy. If they want to go 90 days or 120 days, we can absolutely do that. During that 2-3 day window of time that we've had the watch in our possession is when we capture all the marketing material that we need from it. So video material for short form digital marketing content, long form stuff like on our YouTube channel, product photography for the website, creative photography, all those things is what we'll be getting and capturing during that time period. And then in this situation where the consignment period ends and the watch did not get sold, obviously we don't have to ship the watch back. The watch is in your possession. If you'd like to renew, that's 100% up to you. Or if you'd say, hey guys, I'd like to go somewhere else, which that rarely ever happens, then the money that's been in the holding account, we just simply send back to you and everything's kosher at that point in time. This is a model that we're, again, looking to implement because you have to create new ways for people to feel comfortable doing business with individuals. We have a plethora of individuals that are kind of like, man, like I want to keep doing business with you guys and I love to do consignment, but I've got all these red flags regarding the industry at large. So again, this is just another way to build trust amongst our client base. I'm sure that we have clients that will probably take advantage of this right off the bat because that's what they prefer. They prefer to have their property in their possession the entire time. And we're willing to deal with and work around some of the inconveniences of that because we want to better serve and partner with everyone that has watches that they want to sell.
The vast majority of sales that were made were not made in store. The vast majority of sales were made by having that watch readily available and people knowing that this is going to be a secure transaction. Now, obviously, if we run into the issue of, hey, I put a deposit on this watch and now it's no longer available, not only would we not give you not only would we give you all of your deposit back, but we would actually work directly with you to split the deposit that we were given for that watch if you did in fact inquire and weren't able to receive that watch for the appropriate amount. And so the only people that would be out would be the consignor that did the hybrid consignment and didn't hold up to their word. And so there really is I think it's a great solution. I'm curious what you guys think. We've talked to many people who are very anti-consignment about this idea and they loved it. They thought this is what has been missing because all we keep getting is the reason, and we're ruffling feathers right now. We have many, many friends that are in the industry that definitely don't want to adopt the system. And I say to them, I'm sorry, that stinks, but this is where we are. This is the nature of it. We're not eliminating the consignment process at all. We're just offering another product that fills a hole, and that hole was created that is just pure mistrust and a lot of people that had a lot of issues with the consignment process. We're just trying to find those solutions so that we can offer something that other people don't.
Right.
We may have dealers who contact us, ask us to remove this potentially. They will not be happy about it. But look, we're in a space of competitiveness, and I mean, this is capitalism. We're just we're finding the holes and the gaps, and we're trying to fill them. And
so if you've been hanging on to your watches and not knowing what to do, let's talk about this hybrid consignment model. Or if you have watches on consignment somewhere else that you'd rather just pull and keep in your possession and work the transaction, the deal through a system like this as well, we're happy to discuss that with you. Or maybe it'll force whoever your dealer contact is to adopt it. But if you've stayed this long through the video, that means that you're a true fan. And so thank you for watching.
Or true hater.
Or true hater, true critic. But thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for watching, for the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that sorts of stuff. And if you're not already following us on social media, go and check out Mike and Josh Official. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. There's a lot of great content that we're putting out there, on a daily basis. So we'd love to connect with you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll see you guys later.